So VANDA at, that little squiggly thing, MindChi, all one word, MINDCHI.com.
Excellent.
Yes.
And tell us about the MindChi 8 minutes, because we've got to minute
7.
7.
Yes. So just as a little recap, it's 4 main sections with 2 pieces to each section. The first part is called Start, so you know where you are, and that is the minute of the breathing for your body and your brain focusing on one. So that's control of brain and body. Then the second 2 are called Past, and that's where we go back and we look in the last 24 hours for the things where we might be able to improve, little areas where we think, oof, wish I hadn't done that. And now we look at what would I have rather done. And we look for the lessons only, then we let the past be past. And we count those on our non-dominant hand, and when we're done, we get rid of them, wipe them off, say thank you for sharing, and off we go. And then the next minute in that past section is the counterbalance to that, all the successes. What have we done that inside of us, maybe nobody else knows, but it took effort and we're proud of and we've worked hard at, and we recognize ourselves for our successes. Those we count on our dominant hand, and we hold on to our successes. So first 2 is making sure we have control of body and brain. Second 2 is Past, where we clean up the past. The third 2 is Now, and that's where we check our beat. Great choice of music there.
Yep.
Where we check our B for body, E for emotions, A for actions, and T for thoughts. And of course, these are all going to impinge one on the other.
Yes.
You can't really pull one out without
Like
it
an
having
ecosystem,
an
isn't it?
impact.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Which is the good news, because work on any one of them,
Of course.
and you make a positive effect
Yeah.
on the others around the other way. If one of them's pulling you down, then the others can go in that direction. So to be in control of yourself in the now, and the feeling of that, the resilience that regardless of what is going on around you, you can control you in this moment. And so at a point where maybe it's nothing too crucial, but maybe there's some emotion around something, just for your own awareness, just stop for a second and check your beat and say, I was getting sucked in, I was going down the way with this upset or panic or narkiness, and these things can be almost caught, particularly in groups of people that are together, like families or working together. I choose not to play that game. I choose to have my own self, even though I won't sort of maybe go against everybody else, but I'll maintain my own happiness, my own joy, and my own resilience inside my own self. And just to use that as almost a muscle, to get used to saying, I don't have to be sucked up with everything else that is going on. I can control myself in the moment of anything and everything that is happening.
We talked about Wayne Dyer, who made an impact on me from the very first time I heard him say these words. He said, I can choose peace rather than this.
Yes.
I can choose joy rather than this. I can choose love rather than this. And so you talked about that wonderful metaphor of going down those corridors and Mr. Grumpy Room on one side and your curiosity and your joy and your resilience on the other.
Yes.
You can choose. And I love the idea you talked about decorating those rooms.
Yeah.
Because if I took that and said, how would I decorate joy? Well, I would decorate joy with a smile, with a laugh, with a wink.
Yes.
You were talking about the actual rooms, which I love as well.
Yes.
But I'm thinking, how could I augment my joy?
It has to be multi-sensory. Every single thing that you know, what does joy smell like to you?
Deborah wore Happy the other day, and I knew the perfume as she came into the room, because I have a very positive association with a customer at Absolute Music who used to wear Happy, and I knew when she was in the store from 50 feet away.
Wow.
Because her body chemistry was just perfect for that perfume.
Yes.
So happiness has a scent.
Yes. Yes.
It's quite interesting.
And joy, there is one called Joy, which I used to have as well.
Have a sniff of that then.
Have to check that one out.
And that's beautiful, the whole element of aromatherapy as well. You talked about your circumstances do count.
Yes.
So maybe there is a scent that will help you access those happy memories and state through your rhinencephalon.
Exactly.
Oh,
Snork it up.
That's nose brain to you, my dears. Because your memory's linked to your rhinencephalon, isn't it?
Very, very much so. And for an awful lot of people, education, therefore, is sour milk and gym shoes.
Yes, cabbage.
And cabbage boiled. Boiled and boiled and boiled.
Yeah, let's go somewhere nice, quickly.
Oof. Yes, sorry. It really is fun to decorate and make those rooms and just to spend some time thinking about what is it that helps me to have that emotion. Where am I? And then your consciousness expands because from then on, if you're at the beach or if there's a waft of smell of beach for me,
That's
particular,
good. That's good.
Yes,
Yeah, I like the one.
You get that. Or a forest, and you get waft of forest.
Yes.
I have a garden. It's a lovely pie-shaped garden. Lex knows it well. And I'm extremely happy when I'm upside down in it. And different parts of the garden have different aromas.
They do.
And I can walk around, and the wisteria has been out. And you just come around the corner. And when we first moved there, in the middle of the winter, I'm at the front door, and I keep smelling buttery honey. And I'm thinking, buttery honey. And I thought, what can this be? Because nothing was blooming. And I thought, am I just so happy to be back? We call our house the Jello Nest. Am I so happy to be back at my little nest that I'm smelling buttery honey as I stand putting my front door key in? And then I found it's a plant called Delightful Daphne. And Delightful Daphne blooms in January, February with a teeny little inconsequential bloom.
I know the plant.
Exactly.
Yes.
Which smells buttery honey.
Have you ever come across a Katsura tree?
I don't think so.
I think it's Katsura. I need to look that up and make sure, dear listeners, we've got the right tree. But I saw it first at Wisley, and then I've come across it several times since. It's quite rare, and it smells of toffee apples.
Oh.
It really is quite enchanting. I think there's one at...
my heart.
Yeah.
Go around licking it.
Don't think it tastes of...
Okay, all right.
Get that leaf out of your mouth. Well, let's take a leaf out of your book then. So walk us through the 8 minutes then. So we've got an encapsulation.
Okay, so we've done start, those two, we've done past. Then we were looking at now and how important now was, which is to check our BEAT, our body, emotions, actions and thoughts, and control ourself in the now, in the way that we choose to be. Which brings us to the last two, and these two make me very happy because they are, if you could go start, past, now, guess?
Future!
Yes. So we did that so that it makes logical sense, and if you are learning it and still trying to remember, you can think, wait a minute, I've done those two, where am I? Well, now, future. 2 minutes there again. The first minute is to forward plan for 24 hours. And this is because we have this 24 hours coming up, and you probably know some things you have to do. But again, we're looking at it differently. We're looking at the beingness.
Right.
How do I want to be the best I can for what I have to do? Because we are human beings, not human doings. And think about that, particularly if you have something that's a little anxious-making coming up. What would be my best way? Do I need to be very open? Do I need to be flexible in my thinking? Do I need to be responsive? What is the best way for me to be to handle whatever it is that may be causing me potential anxiousness? So we think about that beingness. And this is so important, and I'm now going to tell a short story about my home in Florida. Many years ago, I ended up living over there, and I had at that point a very big garden, and in my garden was a lemon tree. It's in Florida, and they grow profusely. And it had the most enormous lemons. If you could just see, I'm making the size of...
It's melon almost, isn't it?
It's almost a melon, not a lemon.
One of those little Gaia melons.
And they were juicy, 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 juicy. And I had a very long lawn. And when I was cutting the lawn, it would be very hot. And I would allow myself at a certain point to reach up and pick a fresh lemon off the lemon tree, warm from the sunlight, and rub it between my hands and get that zest and tangy smell of the lemon. And then I would just take my thumb, scrape through the skin, and squeeze and drink the lemon juice. Now, there may be one or two of you listening, and Lex is nodding at me, that you've got this little saliva happening in your mouth. And if you would notice, ladies and gentlemen, there is no lemon present. How powerful is the
mind
thought
the mind chi, yeah.
over the body,
Yep.
like that. If you are anxious about something, and every time you play that again and again and again in your head, flooding yourself with all those negative chemicals,
Yes. Yeah.
causing yourself stress now for something that may or may not happen, how much bad is it doing? So we place each day, what do I have to do? How should I be for this day?
Mm-hmm.
And if it is a difficult day, even more spend some time thinking about what room shall I go into for my emotions that I can be the best I can.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're going towards whatever it is, check your beat. And when you're in it, even check your beat, because although it took me a while to explain it, now that you've got it just like the click of my fingers, you can go B-E-A-T, junk, dunk, dunk, I need to do this, boom,
Yes.
and done. So that's your future 24 hours taken care of. And the final minute is a minute of gratitude, because there is now a growing body of research that says looking for and appreciating things in our life helps us to feel better. When we feel better, we're more resilient. We can handle things. We're less likely to catch all those little colds, although there's some question about that. But maybe you don't bother about them as much. Maybe that's what it is. But you just feel better. And it's again, shifting the perspective, because it's so easy. And what people want to talk about most of the time
The bad stuff.
is the negative. Exactly. And so what we want to do is to counterbalance that by looking for the positive. And I mentioned about you and Lady Penelope doing the 8 minutes together. And I have quite a few friends who are couples who do this together. And one of them said to me, after several years of doing it, she said, after we've completed, and we do this at the breakfast table with the second cup of tea,
Yep.
and before we start our day, we finish, and then we look at each other and remember that each other is one of the things we're grateful for.
Wow.
And that always just touches me.
That's sweet.
Yeah, it is. It's mushy and sweet.
We
but
like mushy and sweet.
We do.
I bet you've wrecked a few pity parties in your time, haven't you? You're a positive person.
Sorry.
I'm going to play a most beautiful song for you, because I am grateful for you. And I think I've introduced this song to you before, but let's see if it lights up your face.